So, a very good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all for this Highway and Concrete Lab demo series with the code 18CVL58. So, if you remember, we had started with module 3, right? So, in the previous session, we had started with the test on aggregates, that is coarse aggregate, and we have completed around 3 to 4 experiments in module 3, that is test on coarse aggregate, right? So if you have remember, we have tested the coarse aggregate for impact load, right? So impact test of aggregates was done, and we have done the crushing value as well, right? So crushing value of aggregates was carried out. And today, in the same way, coarse aggregate test, that is, we'll be performing today shape test. Okay, so in particularly, we'll see how to carry out the flakiness index, that is aggregate shape test. Okay, so I hope this Word file, that is manual, is visible to you. Okay. Right. So this is basically today's aim of experiment is aggregate shape test. As I said, so we are actually testing the coarse aggregate for all the tests, that is impact, shape test, crushing value test, angularity number, and so on, right? And water absorption test you had already performed in basic material testing laboratory. So in this concrete highway laboratory, we'll be doing aggregate shape test. So today's aim of the experiment is aggregate shape test. In this shape test today, we'll be checking out the flakiness index. Now, first of all, when I say aggregate shape test, is right? So that's the question comes. So the coarse aggregate shape really matters when you're using those aggregates in any concrete mixture, right? So why it matters? Because we know that the packing factor or the compaction packing factor, it depends on the aggregate size and shape, right? So size, anyhow, we have already spoken about size. Now when it comes to shape, it does matter because see, basically there are the shapes, different shapes of aggregates. You have flaky aggregate, you have elongated aggregate, you have angular aggregate, right? So flaky in the sense whose thickness is very less, elongated aggregate in the sense whose thickness is very large. Of course, how much large, how much less, that we'll speak about later. But in an overall understanding, as it goes, flaky in the sense thickness is less, elongated aggregates in the sense the thickness is the length is more, and angular in the sense you will get the angular aggregates in the sense. Let me show you the image itself, angular, flaky, and all. So everywhere you get the corners basically, okay? So you will get all the angles. It won't be elongated or it won't be any okay, let me show you that first. Basically, angular aggregates have high specific surface area than smooth rounded aggregates, okay? And it has basically high bond strength than the rounded aggregates. Okay, here you can clearly check here. Okay, so here in this here, you can see that angular aggregates or the cubic particles, right? So this the upper part, please observe my cursor. So these are basically angular aggregate. Okay, so flaky elongated aggregate. So here you can see this is an elongated aggregate. So flaky in the sense the thickness is less. So this is a flaky aggregate. So how much it should be, that we'll check out later. So here you can see the angularity picture carefully. Okay. So this is basically an angular aggregate, this is a rounded aggregate, right? So yes, these are actually angular aggregates. Okay. So that matters a lot when it comes to the packing factor or the compaction. So as I said, for elongated and flaky aggregates, as I have shown now, okay, the surface to volume ratio, surface area to the volume ratio is very high, right? And that's why the bonding is very less, right? So that's why the packing factor is very less, or you can see a very less compaction, or you can say that there are more number of voids, right? So that doesn't happen in angular aggregates. So as far as possible, you should make sure that these flaky and elongated aggregates should be avoided, but you cannot completely avoid, okay? So some percentage of elongated flaky aggregates will definitely include. So IS code, that is Indian Standard Code, has fixed some maximum limit, that is for flaky aggregate and elongated aggregate, how much percentage it should be present in if you take a lump sum of aggregates. So that we are going to determine today. So this is basically experiment name is flakiness index. This experiment name is aggregate test. In that today we'll be checking out the flakiness index. So the aim of the experiment is to determine the flakiness index of the coarse aggregate. And the apparatus used here are, I'll tell you the sieves later. So a set of 10 sieves are used here, basically ranging from 63 mm sieve to 6.3 mm sieve. Okay, so I'll tell you the aggregates later. So these ISUs should be used as per the Indian Standard Code and the recommended thickness gauge. Okay, that is for flakiness index. You will be provided with thickness gauge and the balance, weighing balance. And which code you should refer to see the procedure and the limits and all, right? So the reference code here is IS 23886 Part 1 1963, method for test of aggregates for concrete. Okay. And one more thing is, for the specification of the aggregates, you have IS 383 1970 specification of coarse aggregate and fine aggregate from natural source of aggregate. Okay, so this is all about the aim, apparatus, and the reference code. Now, basically, I've told you why you're supposed to perform this experiment. Okay, now the next thing comes is, what's the theory behind this experiment? First of all, what is flakiness index? As I said right now, the aggregates whose thickness is less, we call it as a flakiness index. But how much the thickness is less? So let me define that. So you can see here an aggregate having the least dimension or the minimum dimension. Okay, an aggregate having the least dimension less than 3/5. Okay, less than 3/5 or 0.6 times of its mean dimension is called as flaky aggregate. Okay, an aggregate having the minimum dimension less than 3/5 or 0.6 times the mean dimension is called as flakiness index. And what is it mean dimension? Okay, I said that it should not be less than 0.6 times the mean dimension. Then what is the meaning of mean dimension? See, the mean dimension in the sense, it's the average sieve size through which the aggregate is passed and it is retained. Now, for example, okay, now if you are passing the sieves from 50 mm sieve to 40 mm sieve, 40 mm passing, 50 mm passing, and 40 mm retained. Okay, so suppose if an aggregate is passed from 50 mm sieve and it is retained on 40 mm sieve, then the mean dimension will be 50 plus 40 divided by 2, right? So that's the mean dimension depending on the passing and retained sieve size. Okay, and the elongation, the flakiness index of an aggregate, okay, it is basically, then I have defined what is a flaky aggregate basically. Here I have defined what is the meaning of flaky aggregate. Okay, now let me define what is the flakiness index. The flaky aggregate is different and flakiness index is different. Okay, so the flaky aggregate in the sense whose mean dimension is less than 0.6 times the mean dimension. Okay, now the flakiness index is basically the percentage by weight of particles in it. Okay, the flakiness index of an aggregate is the percentage by weight of particles in it whose least dimension or the thickness is less than 3/5 of their mean dimension or 0.6 times of their mean dimension. So when you take that ratio, then you will get it in terms of percentage. So initially, how many aggregates you have taken, that divided by how many flaky aggregates you have got. In the sense, how many aggregates whose thickness is less than 0.6 times the mean dimension, those many aggregates, the weight of those aggregates. So actual weight of aggregates taken and actual weight of aggregates which are actually flaky. So that ratio will give you flakiness index. Okay. And basically particle shape and surface structure influence the properties of fresh mixed concrete more than the properties of hardened concrete, right? So it's very correct. As I've already said at the starting of this experiment, it basically affects your compaction, right? Your workability, right? So fresh concrete, there is a lot of effects on the fresh concrete compared to the hardened concrete, right? So definitely you will not get workability as well. So and when you don't get workability, meaning is there are more number of voids, right? And that's how your strength gonna reduce. Okay, rough textured or angular elongated particles require more water to produce workable concrete than smooth rounded compacted aggregates. So when the aggregates are rough, angular, so that requires more water to produce workable concrete. Of course, smooth rounded aggregates require less water. Okay. Consequently, another point is the cement content must be increased to maintain the water cement ratio, right? So generally, flat and elongated particles are usually avoided or limited to about 15% by weight of the total aggregate. So that's why I said in the Indian Standard Code, the flaky and elongated aggregates are restricted to some percentage. So that percentage we'll discuss later. Okay. So this is basically an gauge that is called as a thickness gauge. So this is how your thickness gauge will be. Okay. So this thickness gauge, as you can see here, there are many slots here. First slot, second slot, third slot. It is a hole. You have a small hole, or we can say it as a slot. Okay. So this thickness gauge is made up of MS sheet rolled over 8 mm 5 bar. Okay. Diameter bar. And the thickness of this gauge is 1.5 mm basically. And the slots are maintained with a proper dimension. As you can see here, the thickness of this first slot, please observe my cursor, it is 33.90. Okay, how did you get 33.90? That is,
PPT not visible.
sorry,
PPT not visible, ma'am.
PPT is not visible.
No.
Okay. Please check down. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay. So previously it was visible, right? From when it was invisible? Initially, whatever I've explained, it was visible, right?
From reference code IS intra visible irಲಿಲ್ಲ ma'am.
Okay, from the reference code, it is not visible. Mm, okay, fine. So from the reference code, okay, let me brush up this theory once again then. So as I said, okay, from the reference code, we got to know that from which code these experiments should be carried out. This experiment should be carried out and what's the specification. So basically the theory behind this experiment is, as I said, flaky and elongated aggregate should be avoided. Now, first of all, the meaning of flaky I have told. Okay, whatever I've explained, the same thing has been written here. Okay, so an aggregate having least dimension or the minimum dimension, okay, is if it is less than 3/5 or 0.6 times of its mean dimension is termed as flaky. Okay, now the question comes is what is the mean dimension? Okay, so the mean dimension in the sense the average sieve size, passing sieve size and retained sieve size, that is called as the mean dimension. Is the mean dimension understood to you? Suppose if the aggregate is passing from 50 mmCu and retained on 10 mmCu, then 50 mm passing, 40 mm retained. 50 plus 40 divided by 2. That becomes your main dimension. Okay. So I hope this part was clear to you, right? Theory behind. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So okay, fine. So I'll come to the diagram. Is the diagram visible to you? So this is
Yes, ma'am.
basically a MS sheet. Okay, 1.5 mm thick. So this is called as the thickness gauge. I'll show you the in video later, but this is how it looks. Okay, so this is a thickness gauge, and the gauge thickness is 1.5 mm of made up of MS sheet, and you can see here you have number of slots. Okay, first slot, second slot, third slot, and so on. The first slot, it is, see, each and every slot are specified or specific to their dimension. In the sense, see, observe my cursor, this is my first slot. This first slot, please observe here, the numbering is made very clearly. 63 to 50. The meaning of 63 to 50 is 63 mm passing, 50 mm retained. The CU size 63 mm passing, 50 mm retained. And this is the thickness of this. The thickness of this slot is 33.9. How did you get this 33.9 is, see, if you take the mean dimension, whatever I've defined the flaky meaning, what is the mean dimension now? Can you tell me what is the mean dimension here? 63 mm passing, 50 mm retained. What is the mean dimension? Tell me the equation. What is the mean dimension? Is it 63 plus 50 divided by 2? Yes or no? The mean dimension of 63 to 50 is 63 plus 50 divided by 2. Am I correct? Yes? Yes or no? Chandana,
Yes, ma'am.
Akash. Okay. Have you understood the mean dimension?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 63 plus 50 divided by 2. This is the mean dimension. But this is not the end. 63 plus 50 divided by 2 multiplied by the ratio. What ratio I have defined now? Either 3 by 5 or 0.6. Okay. So the ratio is either 3 by 5 by or 0.6. So 63 plus 50 divided by 2 into 0.6. So if you operate this in your calculator, you will get 33.9. Is it clear? Now similarly, come to the second slot. The second slot mean dimension is 50 plus 40 divided by 2. So the thickness of the second slot is 50 plus 40 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.6. That you will get it as 27 mm. Okay. And similarly 19.5 mm. How did you get 19.5 mm? 40 plus 25 divided by 2 multiplied by the ratio, that is 0.6. Similarly, all the slots have been given to you. All the CU size, all the slots have been given to you. Okay. So these are nothing but the thickness size. So you see, you cannot predict the actual size of the aggregate. So all the sizes have been given to you. So depending on the passing and retained value, depending on that, you are supposed to pass those aggregate in these slots. 63 to 50, 50 to 40, 40 to 25, 25 to 20, and so on. Okay, 31.5 to 25. At the bottom, you have given one more 2 slots, right? So this is all about the thickness gauge. Okay. Now, what is the procedure to perform this experiment? Okay. What is the procedure to perform this experiment? First of all, what you're checking how much percentage of flaky aggregate you have in a heap of stored aggregates. That's what you're checking. Okay. So what you do is take some around random sample of aggregates. So usually how aggregates you will get? Either 25 mm downsize, 20 mm downsize, or 40 mm downsize. Yes or no? Can you tell me what is 40 mm downsize? What is the meaning of that? 40 mm downsize aggregate. What is the meaning of that? Anybody? Yes? or you can say 20 mm downsize aggregate. What is the meaning of that?
20 mm passed out, ma'am.
20 mm passed out.
Yes, ma'am.
That means aggregates whose dimension is less than 20 mm. All those aggregates will come in 20 mm downsize aggregate. Agree? Yes? Right. So similarly, if you take 40 mm downsize means aggregates whose dimension is less than 40 mm. That's what the meaning is, downsize aggregate. Okay. So now usually when you go to the market or when you give any work to any tender or any builder, so if he wants some heap of aggregates, how does that person buys the aggregates? He'll ask someone, some contractor to get the aggregates which are 20 mm downsize and 40 mm downsize. But see, usually what happens is you won't get all the aggregates 20 mm downsize, though you order 20 mm downsize to get, okay? But some of the other aggregates will definitely add up, yes or no? You cannot say that all the aggregates are completely 20 mm downsize, okay? So you cannot maintain that quality everywhere. So you need to check how much percentage it is more or less and so on, okay? And at the same time, so when you say 20 mm downsize means all the aggregates will be mixed. So angular aggregates, rounded aggregates, flaky aggregate, elongated aggregates, all the aggregates will be mixed. But the Indian Standard Code says that the percentage of flaky aggregates should be limited to 30%. Okay, so maximum limit of flaky aggregate, that is the thickness whose thickness is very less, those aggregates should be limited to 30% in a heap of aggregate. So to check that, this experiment will be performed. So take some sample of aggregates first and take the weight as W1. So how to take the weight of W1? The meaning is takes, that's why the first point, take sufficient quantity of coarse aggregate. Let's say the quantity is W1. Take sufficient quantity of coarse aggregate. Let the quantity of coarse aggregate be W1. And make sure that you should have the number of aggregate, minimum number of aggregate to be 200. So at least 200 pieces of aggregate you should take in a heap of aggregate. Okay, so take some sample of aggregates, that is minimum numbers with 200 pieces. Okay, so either you can collect 200 pieces or simply you can randomly take some sample of aggregates which has 200 pieces of aggregate. Okay, so take that aggregate and take the weight W1 and make sure it is completely oven dried aggregates. Okay, now after that carry out the sieving. First of all, you know how the sieves, the sieve sets, right? You have learned in basic material testing laboratory. So you know the sieve set now. Arrange the sieve set 63 mm, 50 mm, 40 mm, 31.5 mm, 25 mm, 20 mm, 16 mm, 12.5 mm, 10 mm and 6.3 mm. Okay, so all these aggregates arrange in order, okay, so that you can make the sieving carefully. First of all those aggregates should be cleaned, oven dried, okay. After that, take those aggregates, arrange this sieve size, add all the samples on the top sieve and go on sieving. Okay, go on sieving. For each sieve, it should be minimum sieved for 2 minutes. You know how to shake it. Okay, upward, forward movement, right, left movement, okay, back and forth movement. So clockwise, anti-clockwise movement. So make the sieving properly, okay, and not even a single piece of aggregate should be wasted. So sieve the aggregates properly. Okay, after sieving, you can see that on each and every sieve, either few aggregates will be retained or not even a single aggregate will be retained, correct? Depending on its size. Okay, now after that, whatever the aggregates are retained, now say suppose 40 mm sieve, some aggregates will be retained, keep it aside. Okay, 25 mm sieve, some aggregates will be retained, keep it aside. Similarly, 20 mm sieve, some aggregates will be retained, keep it aside. So make a block and go on keeping it according to their retained size. Okay, now once that is done, after later on, okay, later on, take the thickness gauge. Okay, take the thickness gauge. Where is your thickness gauge? This is your thickness gauge. This thickness gauge will be provided to you. Okay, and go on passing those aggregate in these slots. Now how to pass those aggregates in these slots? Now say suppose 63 to 50. Okay, so 63 passing, 50 retained. The first slot is 63 passing, 50 retained. Now say suppose on 50 mm sieve some aggregates have been retained. Only those aggregates should be passed on this first slot. Similarly, let's say that 25 to 20 mm, okay, 25 to 20, this is your slot, 25 to 20. And what is the thickness of this 25 to 20 mm passing slot? 13.5. Okay, now that means the aggregates which are passing on 25 mm and retained on 20 mm sieve, only those aggregates should be passed on this slot. Okay, so please make sure that respective retained aggregates should be passed on the respective slots. Okay, not all the aggregates should be passed in all the slots. Respective aggregates should be passed on these slots. Okay, so now the you have already stored all the aggregates, retained aggregates in one side. Go on passing those aggregates in these slots. Okay, depending on their thickness, 33.9, 27 and so on. Okay, the aggregates which pass on these slots, I'll repeat, the aggregates which are passing from these slots, those aggregates are termed as flaky aggregate. So when the aggregates are passing on the slot means the thickness is very less. Because the thickness is less, those aggregates are able to pass on the slot. So you can say that those aggregates are flaky aggregate. So again, once again, make a record how many aggregates have been passed on each slot. So make a record and make a table and go on recording it. Okay. So once the recording is done, or once the table is formed, okay, later on you can calculate the average weight, how many aggregates have been passed on each slot. Okay, so on the entire slot as well as on the each slot, take the summation, and finally when you calculate the sum, you will get W2 value. So the meaning of W2 is all the aggregates which are passing from the thickness gauge, okay, on respective on the each slots. So W1 was basically initially aggregates taken. W2 is how many aggregates have been passed on the each thickness gauge. So W1, W2 you have got now. Once W1, W2, if you take the ratio of W1 and W2, then you're gonna get flakiness index. Multiplied by 100, you will get flakiness index in terms of percentage. Now basically this is an empirical value or empirical factor which expresses the total material passing through the slots of the thickness gauge as a percentage of mass of sample taken. Okay, so that means how many aggregates have been passed. Now say suppose you have taken 40 kg of aggregates. Okay, let's say suppose you have taken 2 kg of aggregates. From 2 kg of aggregates, how many aggregates have been passed in the thickness gauge? Okay, 2 kg and let's say suppose 0.5 kg have been passed in the thickness gauge. Okay, so 0.5 divided by 2 multiplied by 100, that will give you flakiness index. So that means how many percentage of aggregates from the total mass have been passed on the thickness gauge, that is what you are finding out. Okay, so this is about the procedure. So observation as it goes. So initially you have taken initial mass of aggregate, that is 200 pieces of aggregate. I'll take it as W1. Okay, so once the W1 is recorded, next is the this is a tabular column. Okay, please observe the tabular column. This is passing sieve size, that is passing through ISUMM. Okay, all the size of the sieves which are passing sieve. Okay, that is 63 mm, 50 mm, 40 mm and so on. Go on writing this. Okay, next retained sieve size 50 mm, 40 mm, 31.5 and so on up to 6.3. So you cannot use the aggregate size below the 6.3. So that is which is mentioned in the IS code. Aggregates below the size 6.3 should not be considered. Okay. Now aggregate passing through 6.3 retained on 50 mm. Similarly, second aggregate passing 50 mm, 40 mm retained. Similarly, aggregate passing through 40 mm, 31.5 retained and so on. Okay. And this is thickness gauge. This column is thickness gauge. Now what is this thickness gauge? Okay. How did you get this thickness gauge size? It is mean dimension into the 0.6 value factor, that is 63 plus 50 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.6. Similarly, 50 plus 40 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.6, you will get 27. So go on doing it for all the slots. So these values have been mentioned in the thickness gauge. Okay, now The last column is whatever the value you take from each retained aggregate which are passing from the each slot. So whatever I explained now. So let's say that from this, first part, that is 63 mm passing, 50 mm retained. So whatever the aggregates are retained on 50 mm SU, those aggregates you will pass in the first slot. Okay. So from the first slot, whatever the aggregates pass on from the first slot of the thickness gauge, those aggregate size or weight should be written in the first block. Similarly, go on writing in the for all the blocks. I'll explain this once again. So in this block, what weight should be written here? Okay, I'll explain this once again. Aggregates passing from 25 mm SU, retained on 20 mm SU. Okay, and the thickness gauge size here is 25 plus 20 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.6, that is 13.50. Okay, now you will get some aggregates which are retained on 20 mm SU, definitely. After getting those aggregates, you should pass in 13.5 mm thickness gauge slot. So whatever the aggregate pass on that slot, that weight of aggregate should be written here. Okay. Or suppose if no aggregates have been written, directly you can write 0. Okay. So usually 63 to 50 you won't get any aggregate size. So you can write directly 0. So write on, is in a similar way, write down for all the entire blocks. After writing these blocks, take the summation and write the value for W2. So now you have the value for W1 and W2. So take this ratio multiplied by 100, you're gonna get flakiness index in terms of percentage. Okay, so this is about the tabular column. Okay, this is all about the tabular column. So I have told you the procedure also. Let me show you the video. Okay. So initially I have taken the aggregates. See, just to have understanding, because few students may feel it bit confusion or difficult to understand. So to make it easy, I have drawn this blocks. I have drawn such blocks in the lab itself. Okay, you can see the markings here. Okay. Let me explain this once again. So initially I have taken these aggregates. Okay. So this is 200 piece of aggregates I have taken. After taking 200 piece of aggregates, I have taken the chalk piece. This is retained SU size I have written.
PPT
It is
not
not visible,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, initially I have taken few aggregates. Okay, see, when you order it from the market, or when you ask some contractor or some builder to get the aggregates, so you need to mention the size, right? 25 mm down size, 20 mm down size, 40 mm down size. So definitely you will get some, in terms of tipper or in terms of tractor, you're gonna get the aggregates, right? So it is usually measured in terms of brass, right? So here you have taken few aggregates and make sure that minimum 200 pieces of aggregate should be present in a heap of aggregate. So here I have taken some 200 pieces of aggregate. Okay. So now after this, first of all, you need to make the sieving. Okay. So before you make the sieving, just for understanding purpose, I have taken the chalk piece and I went on making a block. Even in actual process also, you can make the block so that there is no confusion. Okay. Let me show you the blocks. Yes, this is a retained. I have made a block here, 50 mm retained. Next, 40 mm retained block, 31.5 mm retained block. Okay, 25 mm retained block, 20 mm retained block. Okay.
Can't see.
Okay. Just wait for 2 minutes. Let me sign off and sign in once again so that. Please check now. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, what I have done here is basically, first of all, I have taken 200 pieces of aggregate. Okay. Next, with the help of chalk piece, I have written retained sieve size here. So for 50 mm retained, I have made a block. 40 mm retained, I have made a block. 31.5 mm, I have made a block. Similarly, for all the retained sieve size, I have made a block just to make sure that you understand it clearly and there is no confusion. So for up to last 6.3 mm sieve size, I have made a block. Later on, I went on keeping the sieves in order as I have shown you in the tabular column. Okay, so bottom size will be the lowest size as you know. So first of all, pan, next 6.3 mm sieve size, next is 10 mm sieve size. This is 12.5. Sorry, this is 12.5. 10 mm sieve size. After that, 12.5 mm sieve size. Next is 16 mm. Okay, 20, 25 mm, 31.5, 50, 63 mm. So this is the set of sieves I have arranged first. So after arranging these sieves, what you do is whatever the sample of aggregates you have taken, pour it on the 63 mm sieve size. Okay. Okay. Now after pouring, go on sieving each sieve for 2 minutes. Each sieve should be sieved for 2 minutes. So now I have sieved all the sieves for 2 minutes. First of all, maybe for 63 mm sieve, there is no aggregate retained, as you can see here. So just keep it aside. So that block is empty now. Okay. Next, I have taken 50 mm sieve. 50 mm sieve, I have sieved it for 2 minutes. Once again, there are no aggregates retained. Keep it aside. Next, coming back to 40 mm sieve. Once again, sieve it. There are no aggregates retained. Keep it aside. Next, 31.5 mm sieve. Sieve it. Once again, there are no aggregates retained. Keep it aside. Right. Now, this 25 mm sieve. Okay. Sieve it for 2 minutes. Just check whether few aggregates are retained or no. If one aggregate is struck here, that means it is not passing. So that means that aggregate has been retained, right? So that aggregate should be kept on the respective block. Okay. Right. So this is 25 mm retained aggregate. I have kept it just beside the block. So the meaning is, the meaning here is this aggregate, what has been kept here. This is retained on 25 mm sieve size. The meaning is that. So I have kept it beside the block. Okay. Now similarly, do for the next sieve set. Okay. So next sieve set, sieve it. Okay. So sieve it properly, backward, forward movements, clockwise, anti-clockwise movements. So once you feel that all the aggregates have been passed and the size has been maintained, now take these aggregates. Now these are the aggregates which are retained on this particular sieve. Once again, just see the block. So this should be kept here. That is 20 mm retained sieve. So keep all these aggregates here, 20 mm retained sieve. Okay. Now similarly, do it for the next 16 mm. Okay, do it for the next 16 mm retained sieve. Now these aggregates are once again retained on 60 mm sieve. So now these aggregates should be kept on the 16 mm block, just beside the 16 mm block. Yes, now go on placing this. Make sure that there is no mixing up of aggregates. Okay, now all these aggregates have been placed here, 16 mm. Okay, next 12.5 mm sieve. So make sure you do it carefully, clockwise, anti-clockwise, backward, forward movements. So once the sieving is done carefully, once again these aggregates are retained and 12.5 mm sieve. Once again, just search for 12.5 mm block. Keep all those aggregates here. So now this is your 12.5 mm block. I have kept all these aggregates here. Okay. Next, just check out whether aggregates have been retained on 10 mm sieve or no. Yes, few aggregates have been retained on 10 mm sieve. Save it. Okay, now of course, obviously these aggregates will not pass on the sieve. 2 aggregates have been retained, so keep it here for 10 mm sieve size. Retained aggregate. So whatever the numbers I have written here, those are retained sieve size. Okay, 6.3 mm. There are no aggregates retained. Okay, so right. Okay, so once this part is done, okay, once this part is done, so now this is basically the thickness gauge. Okay, once the sieving is, see what I have done, I have taken the aggregates first, I have made the marking, I have sieved all the aggregates. On the markings, I went on keeping all the retained aggregates. Now let me explain the thickness gauge here, how it will be. So this is a thickness gauge. Okay, MS sheet made up of mild steel. So this is slot 63 to 150 slot, 50 to 40 slot, 40 to 31.5 slot, right? And there are many slots here depending on passing and retained value. See, let me explain. So now first slot, please observe my cursor, this first slot. This first slot, what type of aggregate should be passed in this slot? Only 63 mm passing, 50 mm retained. Only those aggregates should be passed in the first slot. Similarly, all other aggregates depending on the size. See, if let me show it here. So this slot, what I have holded a hand here, 16 to 20, 12.5. In this slot, what type of aggregates you will pass? Aggregates which are passing on 16 mm sieve, retained on 12.5 mm sieve. Only those aggregates should be passed on these slots. Okay, so similarly, you have all these slots, 10 to 6.31.5 to 25. Okay, so this is basically, it is called as thickness gauge, or it is also called as flakiness index gauge. Okay, now observe here. These 40 mm, this should be passed in the second slot. 31.5, this should be passed in this slot. So it has been shown very clearly here. Okay. Now, after this, please see here. So for 25 mm slot, one aggregate was remaining, if you remember. Okay. So for that, just see where is your slot and go on passing here. So it is not passing. So whatever suppose if that aggregate is not passed, then those aggregate just place it inside the block. Okay. Next. Okay. See this, just pass it here. Let me show it here once again. Okay. So now 25 mm. So go on passing all these aggregates. So these are not able to pass here. Okay. So just do it for all the aggregates. Okay. Do it for all the aggregates. Go on passing it in the slots. The aggregates which are not able to pass in the slot, keep it inside the block. And do it for all other aggregates. Okay. Do it for all other aggregates. So similarly for 10 mm, so you can see here all the aggregates have been passed, and whatever the retained aggregates, those aggregates have been kept inside the block. Rest of the aggregates, it remains outside itself. Similarly 6.3, of course there was no aggregate, so nothing has been retained. So once all the aggregates have been passed, I'm showing here how many have been kept inside the block and outside the block. Okay, so the retained aggregates have been kept inside the block here. Okay, so this initial initial experimental part is over now. Now I'll tell you which weight has to be taken. Okay, so now, okay. Now please observe this. Okay, now in this particular tabular column, please observe this tabular column. So this tabular column, the first column is passing through 25 mm sieve size. So you can ask me why only these sieves have been written here. What about the other sieves? Okay. See, I have written only 25 mm passing, 20 mm retained, 20 mm passing, 16 mm retained, up to 6.3. And what about 50, 31.5 sieves? I have not written all those initial values because, why? Because whatever the aggregates heap I have seen, okay, but whatever the aggregates I have collected from the sample, okay, that sample, it is of 25 mm down size. See, when you know that aggregate heap is 25 mm down size, so writing all other above values 63, 21.5, it's of no use. Anyways, you are getting 0. So either you can write it and write it at 0, or you can simply skip. No issues at all. Okay, so since my aggregates were 25 mm down size, so that is why I have started from 25 mm down size, 25 to 20, 20 to 16, and so on. So here I have written the thickness gauge. I have told you how to calculate this thickness gauge. Okay, next, mass of aggregate passing through the slot. Please observe this last column, mass of the aggregate passing through the slot, in the sense the aggregates which are passed on the thickness gauge, not retained on the slot, which are passed on the slot. So when we were passing on the each slot, only the aggregates which are able to pass on the each slot, those aggregates should be taken, and those values those weight of aggregates from each retained block should be taken, and those should be recorded here. You can see here 60 grams, 100 grams, 20 grams. Okay, so on. So here you have got all those weight. Now take the summation of this, you will get 180 grams. Total is 180 grams. Okay, so this 180 grams indicates that this 180 grams, these many aggregates have been passed on the thickness gauge. So now you have W1 value, W2 value. So the ratio of W2 by W1 will give you the flakiness index. 180 by 190 into 100 will give you 9.27 percentage. So the flakiness index is 9.27 percentage. In the sense, in the entire sample, 10% aggregates are flaky. That's what the meaning is. Okay. So now let me tell you few of the precautions and the application of this elongation flakiness index. So the results, this is how you should write. Okay. So the flakiness index of the coarse aggregate is dash percentage. So the standard value, what's the standard value? See, as per the Indian Standard Code, recommended or allowable maximum limit for flakiness index for various construction. So maximum limit is 30%, as you can see here, according to the Indian Standard Code. So bituminous carpet is 30%, and for all other bituminous macadam, waterborne macadam, it is 15%. So maximum limit is basically 30% as per the Indian Standard Code. Okay, and the application of this, see, basically the significance of this experiment is basically the shape of the aggregate. It affects a lot on the shape factor, or sorry, the compaction factor. Okay, so if there are too many flaky or elongated aggregates, then definitely you will get less lump. So the workability is very less if the percentage of flaky aggregate is too high, because as I said here, surface area to volume ratio is very high in case of flaky aggregate, and that will definitely reduce your workability. Okay, so that is why this flaky percentage has been limited in case of Indian Standard Codes. Okay, and you can see the last one here. For both flaky and elongated test, the smaller size aggregate, that is smaller than 6.3 mmcu, should not be considered. And precautions here is take the sample by quartering, in the sense, see, randomly, do not take it at only one particular place, collect it from all the locations of the heap. Okay, and do not force any particle from the thickness gauge to pass. So you cannot apply your force and pass in the slot. Just gently pass it. If it is not able to pass, then retain it, that's all. And measure the weights accurately. So these are the few precautions you can see here. Okay, so that completes your flakiness index. Do you have any other doubt? Any queries, any questions for this particular experiment? Is it clear to you? So this is about the flakiness index. In the next class, I'll come with the elongation index. Okay. Yes, someone has raised the hand. Do you have any query to ask in this regard? Is it understood? Yes, Irana, Gayatri, is this experiment understood to you? Abhishek?
Yes, ma'am.
Artha aita hai experiment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any other doubts to clear or any clarification in this regard? Okay, fine. So that's all for this today's session. Thank you.